Hello there, this is Critical from Critical Media. Just taking a look at the most recent print of Arkham Asylum, A Serious House on Serious Earth, the Deluxe Edition. This print is from 2021, so very recent, although you will find this book being reprinted quite a few times. So we're just going to take a look at, of course, the exterior, a little bit of the art inside and some plot points, and just a little brief review at the end. Now, as mentioned, this book has been reprinted so many times since its debut in 1989. As a matter of fact, the book is originally just known as Arkham Asylum, A Serious House on Serious Earth. So it happens in its own, its own little Elseworld, so to speak. And yeah, if just to give you an idea, this is the 15th anniversary from 2004. Just a look at it compared to a standard trade paperback. Not bad there. And in that light, in terms of the cover, they've actually reused this cover on the print a few years ago, so nothing new there. It's just actually missing the anniversary part, which I actually prefer on this, actually. I could do without the review. I think this book is already well received, so you don't have to worry about that. Its spine, just to see how it handles on your bookshelf. And of course, just the rear view here. Looking underneath it, though, thankfully, we get a excellent splash from Dave McKean. So it's basically a wraparound image, and how gorgeous is that? Oh, man, love looking at this. Dave McKean is one of my favorites, even beyond the world of comic books. The man is a true artist. I went to one of his exhibits a few years ago. He had this tree that was basically in the middle, and it was branches. Sorry, its branches were basically flowing throughout the exhibit, kind of leading you to different art. So well contrived. But anywho, this book also helped bring Grant Morrison, to the forefront. So it not so much launched their careers, but definitely made them rock stars. That's for sure. Dave McKean, you may know from Sandman covers and whatnot, whereas Grant Morrison, admittedly, he's like hit or miss. In my opinion, more miss than hit, but he definitely knocked it out of the park with this. Now, in terms of just the general plot, think of a hostage situation. So, as usual, um, well, as usual in the Batman world at least, the prisoners have escaped. The loonies have taken over the asylum. They've taken hostages, killed people, unfortunately, and they got demands. They get them, and one of their demands is, we want Batman. So that's basically where this book picks up. The story, though, also serves as not just a deconstruction of these characters that we all love, but it also gives us the hint or glimpse into the founder of Arkham Asylum, Amadeus Arkham. So you get to see, his origin, how he comes about building the asylum, his rationale behind it, but also the potential fall of this man as well. This place it seems to be cursed. It just sucks you in. And you get a little glimpse here of McKean's work. This is just early in the book, even before Batman enters the fray, really. And in that light, maybe just a little other preview here. Batman showing up in this moment, so you get your impressions of the Joker in this case. I should also mention Jasper Saladino. He does the lettering, so I really appreciate how unique, and I'm kind of surprised that this isn't done more often. How well defined each character can be. Even Two-Face and the other rogues, they even have their own kind of lettering, so it's on point in that respect too. Helps you follow. Even the Amadeus storyline when it blends with the current story. But nonetheless, one of my favorite parts of this book is this particular page here. It's kind of like a word association, Batman and a therapist. And I just love how it pretty much nails Batman's origin. And at the same time, it shows you how much of a broken man he could be. A little Easter egg. Throughout this book, one theme is that you never really see Batman's eyes, and there's a reason for that. It's not really a giveaway because it's more about interpretation. But this is one of the few pages where you actually do see his eyes, and there's a reason. Let's just put it that way. Basically, got a A on my college paper on that one. But you also see some other rogues that kind of throw things into the what's the word, into a quagmire, so to speak. So you get to see a lot of Batman's rogues here. No, not Norman Bates, but I love the nod that they're watching it there. But especially you get to see like Maxie Zeus, who you almost never see at all, and even Professor Milo. I remember him more from the cartoon, but more and more I delved into comics, I realized, oh yeah, he's actually an old school character from the 50s. He's very similar to Scarecrow, where he develops chemicals that mess with your mind and whatnot, and not to mention just a straight up forward professor or evil professor, whatnot. But nonetheless, you can see how consistent this artwork is throughout the entire book. Oh man, it's absolutely gorgeous. But probably one of my favorites here is the interpretation of Maxie Zeus. It's so horrifically beautiful, if that makes any sense. It is incredible, this design of the character and the interpretation. I can't get over it. Good stuff. But anywho, I like how it has certain themes and tones throughout it. Of course, I'm a huge fan of Alice in Wonderland, or should I say Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. So I like how the book opens with a quote from Alice's Adventures in Wonderland and then ends with one. There's a lot of Lewis Carroll in the Batman lore, even before you add the Mad Hatter. But probably one of my favorite aspects of this book. Now, normally, when I see these kinds of additional proses or bonuses, in this case a script, sometimes you can gloss over it and be like, okay, fine. But this particular script, and yes, it's from Grant Morrison's pages, it not only is insightful, or should I say it's detailed, but it's insightful in how to understand some of these panels in this book here. And another thing I appreciate about this deluxe edition is you can kind of see, maybe if the camera picks it up, gloss imagery, or should I say gloss paper. And then finally, when you get to this part, it's your standard grain, just like you would see in any other novel. I love that. Such an excellent little touch. And I guess for those who maybe never knew that Grant Morrison had some talent, actually this is his artwork here, just some, of course, structuring and planning. But yeah, it's pretty impressive still. You actually get little hints that the story was supposed to be even bigger than it was. Like, even in this image, that looks like Robin to me. So just an interesting angle there. But this story, it's definitely a 10 out of 10. I don't think anybody really should be surprised there. The bonus content has been used before in like the absolutes, the previous trades and hardcovers, so you're getting a bit of a repeat there. If ever this book needed a sequel, apparently there's been one in the works since 2017. But I'll be honest with you, my real spiritual successor to this is when Neil Gaiman and, of course, Dave McKean worked together, not on Sandman, but rather on Mr. Punch. That's a book from the 90s. Very similar to this vibe. If you were a lover of this book, that would actually be my recommendation. And maybe just a brief one here for Sam Keith, because I feel like Sam Keith doesn't get enough love out there. Yes, Bruce Jones worked on this, and it's once again Lewis Carroll or Alice's Adventures in Wonderland themed. But I always feel like anytime I read Arkham Asylum, this deserves a quick once-over as well. Excellent work in it. I mean, the art is significantly different, but I like the tone. Like, for some reason, after Arkham Asylum, I feel like this matches its tone very well. So maybe just another reading recommendation there. But hey, I wouldn't mind hearing your thoughts just the same. Maybe you already have the book. Maybe you're planning to get the hardcover nonetheless. I kind of like upgrading my books anyways to hardcovers. But hey, I wouldn't mind hearing your thoughts in the comments down below just the same. Y'all folks take care and enjoy the rest of your day.